Good morning. Welcome to the forecast discussion for Tuesday, July 1st, 2025. We have a lot to talk about today as we are going to be moving into a very stormy afternoon and evening for much of the region. Unfortunately, the worst impacts look to be for the I-95 corridor. But before we begin, please like, share, and subscribe. As you may notice, I don't do, let's say, the images that you see on YouTube where half the country's in red. I don't hype things up when they really shouldn't be, or ever, really. So as a result, YouTube doesn't always put me on the top because I'm not trying to scare the heck out of you. So if you can like, share, and subscribe, it actually helps this channel out quite a bit. Also, if you're interested in helping even further, you can become a premium consulting member, only $15 a month. And with that, you get details like today we talked about the evolution of the El Nino Southern Oscillation, where we're at right now compared to the model guidance. And we went in depth into the severe potential for this afternoon and went into some of the lifting parameters and what I'm seeing in terms of vertical wind shear and the amount of moisture in the atmosphere and what that means for you. So definitely check that out if you are a premium member, because there's a lot of details on there as well. So let's take a look at the current observations. We had showers and thunderstorms move through overnight, and some of those thunderstorms packed quite a punch with very heavy rainfall, vivid frequent lightning, strong wind gusts. It was pretty nasty out there, especially around 10, 11 p.m. That was all associated with a warm front that lifted through the region. And now we are clearly in a very tropical air mass. Right now in Freehold, it is already 82 degrees at 9:30 in the morning with a dew point in the 70s. Throughout the region, you have temperatures in the 80s with dew points in the mid to upper 70s already. So this is already a very steamy, moisture-loaded, unstable atmosphere. Okay. The sun's starting to break out, so the atmosphere is going to become even more unstable. Right now, it's conditionally unstable. It's going to be completely unstable by the time we get to late morning hours, and that will set up the potential for some thunderstorms. So let's consider what we have here just with the observations. Plenty of moisture, plenty of instability, not so much vertical wind shear. Okay, we have some speed shear, but not a lot of vertical wind shear. So this opens up the potential for severe thunderstorms, certainly. One thing I'm very concerned about, and I've talked about this many times publicly and privately, also in the premium section, is my concern for the I-95 corridor here. This creates what we call an urban heat island effect, and locations to the northwest and to the southeast of that urban heat island effect sometimes leads to the potential for some weak, isolated tornadoes, even when normally they wouldn't be supportive in the atmosphere. So just throwing that out there as a concern for this afternoon and evening. I want to take a look at the observations right now on the radar and surface map from WeatherTap. Let's just refresh this real fast, get the latest data that just came in. There's our warm front that lifted through overnight, and there's some of the showers and thunderstorms that moved through our region in the overnight hours. Right now, we have no precipitation over the I-95 corridor. Those showers over Long Island are exiting, but you can already see trouble brewing here over west central Pennsylvania. The cold front back here is actually not going to be moving through until tomorrow. But what we're going to be dealing with is what's called a prefrontal trough, which is going to be this extending northward and this feature right here. And these troughs can pack quite a punch, just like the cold front itself. And that is exactly what we're going to be dealing with as we move forward, as we get into the afternoon, evening hours. And this is the latest visible satellite picture. I also have some lightning here that shows up. You can see the lightning pushing off the coast around the southern New England, and lightning already starting to show up here over western Pennsylvania. So the reason why I'm showing you this is that typically with atmospheres that have a lot of moisture in it, they can actually pack quite a punch in terms of lightning. So we're already starting to see that showing up pretty nicely here. But the key thing for us is the fact that clouds are starting to clear, which means we're going to have more sunshine initially ahead of these thunderstorms, which means that the atmosphere is going to be able to warm faster, which means the atmosphere is going to be even more destabilized. So again, all the factors are coming together. Now, does this mean that your location, your house, will get a severe thunderstorm? I don't know. What happens here is that the thunderstorms form, If you're lucky enough, you could be in between two severe thunderstorms and you don't get as much of an impact. But in these types of situations, the atmosphere itself is capable of supporting multiple severe thunderstorms. And that's what we're trying to focus on here. Not whether or not you get a thunderstorm in your backyard, but the potential here for many backyards, maybe not yours, but many backyards dealing with some severe conditions. And these thunderstorms are going to be capable of packing very heavy downpours, frequent vivid lightning, hail, wind gusts over 55 miles per hour. And yes, there is that potential for that isolated tornado that we're going to have to watch out for. Now, the infrared satellite picture just came in, shows some good news here. And it's good news for the holiday weekend, the Independence Day weekend. Once this cold front clears out and the secondary cold front that's back here clears through the region by Thursday, it is beautiful back here in the Northern Plains, and that is what's going to be heading towards us for the end of the week and the holiday weekend. So 4th of July, Saturday and Sunday, perfect weather conditions if you want to head outdoors, go to a baseball game, go to the beach, whatever you want to do. The weather will be absolutely beautiful. So let's dive into the data. I wanted to show you the HRR guidance. This is the same guidance that you see on TV where they talk about futurecast and all that stuff. Well, it's just the HRR. And what this is showing here is that basically after 2 o'clock, we'll start to see these isolated thunderstorms pop up here and there. And then the primary main event is going to be coming through from about 3:30 on through this evening. So again, the evening rush hour is not looking pretty here along the I-95 corridor here. And the one thing that really stands out to me is to see how these cells are kind of separated. Yeah, this could be a sign that we might be looking at some supercells here. Okay, so this could be a pretty stormy afternoon, evening. Looks like I'm going to be busy, that is for sure. And you stay tuned as I will have videos coming through and updates coming through on my social media and also at NY and JPA Weather on the evolution of these thunderstorms. So certainly a very stormy afternoon, evening on the way. So let's dive into the rest of this forecast. For today, stormy, especially in the afternoon, evening hours. High temperatures in the mid to upper 80s, but it'll feel like the lower to mid 90s with all the humidity in the atmosphere. For tonight into tomorrow morning, the cold front slowly clears out with showers and a few thunderstorms. Look for low temperatures in the mid to upper 60s over the northern interior, lower to mid 70s along the coast and on the I-95 corridor. For tomorrow afternoon, the cold front is slow to move off the region. So variable cloud cover, isolated to widely scattered showers, not so much in terms of thunderstorms because we kind of lose our punch in the atmosphere. All of the primary energy in the atmosphere is going to be focused on today. Look for high temperatures ranging from the mid to upper 70s on Long Island, lower to mid 80s everywhere else. On Thursday, that secondary cold front moves through with, again, sky cloud cover, a few isolated showers. Can't rule out an isolated thunderstorm, but for the most part, it's going to be just a few showers and not a lot of activity. Look for low temperatures ranging from the lower to mid 60s over the northern interior, mid to upper 60s in the suburbs, upper 60s to lower 70s in your urban areas. High temperatures will rebound into the upper 70s to lower 80s over the northern interior, mid to upper 80s on the I-95 corridor, and lower to mid 80s along the coast. On 4th of July, Friday, high pressure and control, sky cloud cover, low humidity. Look for low temperatures ranging from the mid to upper 50s over the northern interior, lower to mid 60s along the coast. High temperatures ranging from the mid to upper 70s over the northern interior, upper 70s to lower 80s along the coast and on the I-95 corridor. So absolutely beautiful weather conditions. Beautiful weather conditions continue for Saturday with tranquil conditions, plenty of sunshine, low temperatures in the upper 50s to lower 60s over the northern interior, lower to mid 60s along the coast. High temperatures will range from the lower to mid 80s. On Sunday, high pressure again, in control, but off the coast, more of a southwesterly wind. Look for scattered cloud cover, low temperatures in the mid to upper 60s over the northern interior, upper 60s to lower 70s along the coast. High temperatures will range from the mid to upper 80s throughout the region with a slight increase in humidity, so it'll feel more like the lower 90s, especially on the I-95 corridor. On Monday, high pressure remains in control but off the coast. Look for scattered cloud cover. We're going to hold off on the cold front for about another 12 to 24 hours. Leading to dry conditions on Monday. Look for low temperatures in the upper 60s to lower 70s, high temperatures in the mid to upper 80s over the interior and along the immediate coast, upper 80s to lower 90s on the I-95 corridor. And on Tuesday, the cold front will approach the region with increasing cloud cover. Look for isolated to widely scattered showers and thunderstorms, especially towards the interior. Look for low temperatures in the lower to mid 70s and high temperatures ranging from the mid to upper 80s on Long Island, upper 80s to lower 90s along the coast, and lower to mid 90s everywhere else, with a heat index pushing towards 100 degrees. Now, if we get enough sunshine ahead of this cold front, we may actually be looking at a few upper 90s as well, especially around Philadelphia, New York City, Newark, locations like that. So we'll keep an eye on that to see whether that sets up and the timing of this cold front. That is your forecast discussion for today. Have a wonderful day. I'll keep an eye on these thunderstorms and have updates as we go on through the day. But in the meantime, stay safe out there.